Look, I would like to acknowledge the land in which we're on. I want to acknowledge my elders, both past, present and emerging. For they hold the memories, the tradition, the culture and hopes were the original people of this land. I would also like to acknowledge my brothers and sisters that come from across the sea that now lives in Australia. I want to say welcome, welcome, welcome. We must always remember that under this concrete and stone, this is and always will be the original people's land. I also like to acknowledge the 500 plus nations across this great continent of ours, the 250 plus language groups that lived and sustained on this land for 80,000 plus years. Thank you for your invitation. Thank you for allowing me here to speak. Now, I'm going to shoot straight. I'm not here to talk the bullshit and all the other crap that's going on. I want you to listen to an original person's point of view. You might like it. You may not be happy with some of the things I say, and I hope there's still people sitting in the room when I finish. Here's an image. Think of a bird. A bird got two wings. A left wing, a right wing. It's got a body, it's got a tail. What controls the body?
The rudder.
No, the wings. What's in the head? Where's the brains here? Am I talking to people that's got brains? No. The brain is controlling the wings. We've got all the right wings, you've got all the left wings, you've got all the political parties. But who controls them? Think about it. Am I right or wrong? Right, I'm glad you're listening. The Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander Voice Referendum. Think about those words. Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander Voice Referendum. Aboriginal. My daughter said it over here. I am not an Aboriginal person. I'm a budgeted Murrawari man. That's who I am. Budgeted Murrawari man. I'm not an Aboriginal. You put AB in front of the word original, what do you get? It's a Eurocentric word. It's a coloniser word. To enslave First Nations people. It's an offensive word to First Nations people. Same with Torres Strait. My daughter explained that over there. Voice. Why do you think they got the word voice in capital letters? Yes, you're correct.
Fiction.
You're correct. It's grammatically incorrect. You look at your papers that you're going to be voting on. They have a square. You've got a ticket of right no or yes. Anything inside of a square is not on the page. No, am I right?
Yeah, totally.
So you're all fooled. You're all fooled. Wake up. Now, are the Aboriginal people, and I don't like the word, First Nation or the original people, are in your constitution? Have a guess. How am I in your constitution? What was 1967 referendum was all about? To make us equal. Why do we need a voice? You don't need it. Now, it says the word Aboriginal. I'm not Aboriginal. It also says that race. Aboriginal is not a race. Am I in your constitution? There you go, you change your mind. So I'm not. So this referendum is about contract. It's all about commerce, it's trade and commerce. Why do they want us into the Constitution? Because they know that we have the power here. Who has the power?
People.
Why do they need us in the Constitution? There must be some power that we hold.
First Nation.
Yes. We hold some of the power here. Why do you want a treaty and a contract? I want to tell you a question. There's two laws on this country. One's creator's law, one's natural law, which is we go by. Your other law is fictitious. It has no jurisdiction on this land. Admiralty maritime law, let me go there. Maritime and admiralty law is a law of the sea. Law meaning sea or water. Where you're sitting in the land you live on, it's not Australia. How do I know that? Because when I went to court in Canberra, when I looked at the statements, and the warrant, it said all the Australian Federal Police and the Australian Police Force were from Norfolk Island.
Yeah.
They are from Norfolk Island. Where's Norfolk Island?
Out there.
So where is Australia? Bang.
Yeah.
You've answered my question. Your Australian government is an American corporation. Going on Admiralty maritime law, which law to sea, they have no jurisdiction on this land. Whose jurisdiction? Who's got the real jurisdiction? Do you? The original people have the proper jurisdiction. The Aboriginal people or the original people have the proper jurisdiction of this land. They have the bloodline connection to the land you're sitting on. You've been fooled by this government. All your courts are run by the banks. Your judicial system are run by the banks. Wake up! I'm sorry I've been so fiery. Am I right?
Yes.
That's issue number one. Issue number two. 97% of non-Indigenous people, listen to this very carefully and I want you to get it in your head. 97% of non-Indigenous people are going to be voting for the 3%. Think about it. So that makes us a 97% non-Indigenous voice. No, am I right?
Yes.
It's racist.
She said it's not right. What I'm saying is,
But you
What I'm saying
you
is-
will participate. If you participate in this vote, you are then systematically counted as a citizen of that corporation.
I'm going there soon.
Then you make a voice.
I'm going there soon.
We will have question time soon.
Yes.
We're going to continue on.
So 97% of non-Indigenous people are going to be making decisions for the 3%. That's a no-no. That's a no-no. In my law, LORE, I cannot make decision for another sister or brother's nation. Now, Linda Marnie, which is Wiradjuri, the Aboriginal minister, she's a Wiradjuri woman, cannot make decisions for me as a budget Wurrungary man. That's law. LORE. There's a difference. LORE has the proper authority here. Son, Can you hold that kangaroo skin up for me? There is my law. There is my law. When people talk about treaties, we as First Nations people has to treaty with one another first. Before we can make a treaty with another construct or another system. Now, let me educate you. Our contracts came through our totem system. The totem, my totem is the black kangaroo, and a small animal called the marsupial, which is a paddington. Now, our contracts and treaty were through our totem system, which crisscrossed across Australia. Already set in place. We had it already set in place. What all the people in Australia who have studied law has not studied the real law. Correct? This we've got to go back to the proper law of the land. Natural law, creative law. No other law sits above creative law. Am I right? Yeah. This is proper law. This law is playing you around. There is no justice in this law system. This is why you got divorced. That's issue number 2. Issue number 3. The 250 people that went to Uluru does not represent the 500 plus nations. There was no one at the Uluru that represented my nation, Murrawari budgeting, because they can't. 500 nations are not going to agree on the voice. Am I right or wrong? My mob want to stay sovereign. And we have a rights under international law. International rights to First Nations people. We have a right to self-determine. We have a right to make our own decisions. Why are you all quiet? Questions going to come later. Let me finish on a few more issues, yeah? And I hope I haven't changed your mind. So the 550 people at Uluru does not represent the 500 plus nation. Think about it. Qantas flew them there. Who paid for their food? Who paid for their accommodation?
Twiggy Forest.
Wait!
Follow the money.
Your mining companies. Your big corporations.
The member for Reinhardt.
Because all the mob that went there worked for the government and the corporations. Your land councils, your native titles.
And Ali, the member for Reinhardt.
All of them. You see how flawed it is? I can go on and on. But this is the problem we face. Now your constitution. I'm going to go back to your constitution. Your constitution violates Section 51, our religious rights. Miles, help me. Section 51. Does it violate our religious rights?
Yes.
Fine. I want to have a drink. There you go. Also violates international law. Our rights to First Nations people. Now, you, as Australians, cannot make a decision for me or my country. in my land. And I cannot make decisions for you. That's my land. Who's an Australian citizen here? Put your hands up. Don't be scared to put it up. Put it up. No, come on. I got most of them scared.
You say yes, is.
Right, now. Let me explain that. You better get off that ship. Citizenship. Which ship are you on?
Titanic.
That's why the Titanic's now under the water. No. You're an Australian citizenship, or your citizen, mean you're a member of their corporation. Am I right or wrong? So when are you going to get off that ship? Anything with ship in it, ship on the end of it, you better get off it. And anything with the word con, C-O-N, constitution, reconciliation, all the con words have got your con. No, am I right?
Yes.
So, I've got an answer now. Here's my answer to everything. I don't want to go on too long, enough to talk all day. This is my answer to everything. At a local, state, and federal level, wait a minute, I've undescribed it. This is what we need in Australia. We live in a multicultural world now. We need to change our constitution to suit all of us. Think about it. You want to change things, this is what you've got to do. Now I'm telling you, we're going to create a constitution that will represent all of us. We're going to create a flag that represents all of us. We're going to create an anthem that represents all of us. If I'm stupid, you can tell me to go. But when we want to talk about the real change, this is what we want to do. Now, I believe that we all have something to contribute. We're going to now work as a collective. We are the change. Because you all just said we have the power. The power is in the people. So we can make a difference. Now, my grandson over there, Bruce III, doesn't know what's going on. Bruce over there, my son, that's his son, Bruce, so there's 3 generations. You miss one, you'll get the other. But my children, your children, are going to live in a world what we created. I'm not here for myself. You're not here for yourself. We're here for the generation, for our children and their children's children. We're going to create a more safer environment and a more peaceful environment for our next generation. We're also going to look after Mother Earth, which is our mother that sustains us. First Nation people are not just fighting for land rights, we are fighting for the land. We need the waters, we need the rivers, we need the trees to survive. Why are we cutting down our trees? When our trees give us oxygen, we may as well cut our throats. There's more than just fighting for land rights. Now we're going to start connecting you guys back to Mother Earth. And we're going to learn the proper law. proper jurisdiction on this country. There is an old prophecy that said, in the end days, all tribes, nations and tongues are going to come together. I see that on the horizon. Can you see it?
Yes.
We're going to have a modern day corollary. That's why I can see it's coming. We need to come together more often. Right? You all agree? Let me finish off. The answer to it. At a local, state and federal level, we need to set up our, like Arnie said, our tribal councils. I don't like the word tribal, but we're going to set up our elders mob that has the proper jurisdiction on the land. With the elders mob, then you'll be able to work with a non-Indigenous council. The original mob, non-Indigenous. That's at a local, in a state, and a federal level. At a federal level, we should have the 500 plus nations parliament working alongside the non-Indigenous parliament. Is that hard? Wipe down because you're walking away. No. All those 500 plus nations has to have their own parliament, working alongside the other parliament.
Why would you want to have a second parliament? Well, only one.
Because
Because of the painful past, and I think that you need to.
Parliament can initiate referendum. What we need is a people's referendum initiated.
Okay, let's go back to that.
Then we all come together, we're all one.
Let's go back to that. Here we go, we all want to be one now. No, we all want to be one now, don't we?
Absolutely.
What happened in the past? Come on, we've got to have these conversations.
We can't speak for the past, Bruce, because we weren't there.
But your past is still here with us. So then why do we celebrate Anzac? You weren't there in the wars. I weren't there.
Why
do we glorify Anzac, not celebrate?
Wait a minute.
Our ancestors were. Yours and mine were Anzac.
All right, that's okay. That's okay, but you just said, what's in the past in the past?
No, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying we weren't there.
I weren't there either.
That's true.
So why do I celebrate Anzac?
Well, we were together.
For what they believe they fought for the right thing.
Okay, let me answer that question. The frontier wars. If we were to go back and tell the truth, does anyone know about the frontier wars? I'm talking about this country. I can't talk for any other country. The frontier wars that happened in this country has never been told. Am I right?
Correct.
I'm glad your question came about. Because what we have here is a blockage. There's your blockage. There's your blockage. We've got to change the narrative. If you're truthful enough, you come and sit down on my country and start telling the truth. When is Australia going to wake up and start having this conversation? We are mature enough now to sit and have the conversations. But if we're going to go forward as one, we need to start talking about it. That's what affects us in the life. And I'll tell you the truth. You're all sitting here because you're privileged of what happened in the genocide and what happened in the past. Am I right, am I wrong? I'm here to hit it straight, and I shoot straight, and I'll tell the truth. We have a common enemy here. you're living in.
Not the system, the people who are running the system.
Well, they're the system. They're the system.
But who's feeding it? Who's feeding the system? When you're citizens, what are you doing? You're feeding the system. When you buy at a shop, you're feeding the system.
All right, let's go back to the answer. The answer's here. The answer's here in our community. We have the answer. The answer's got to come from grassroots. We are the grassroots. The answer's got to come from here up, not from the top down. So now tell me, if we're the people, how did all the political party come about? Who sponsors them?
Corporation.
Right, so who puts them in?
The corporation.
Well, who put them in there? Who voted? Well, who's the silly one? Well, the people have voted the people in.
Corporation.
No. We're the people that voted them in. Yeah, but we still voted them in. Now, here's my last question. You vote all your MPs and your political parties and your representatives in to represent you that are not listening at the moment to form a government which had no jurisdiction. All your MPs, your politicians, look, your Prime Minister is unconstitutional. Your third tier structure, which is your local government, is unconstitutional. So why are you paying tax? So why are you paying tax? Why are you paying your rates? Why are you paying your mortgage?
Fear.
It's a good
Trauma
thing to
and
do.
fear. Trauma.
So who's woken up? Put your hands up if you've woken up now. Put your hand up if I woke you up. Okay, last question. Your Prime Minister, all your political parties, and all the people that you voted to put in there, who did they pledge their allegiance to?
The corporation.
Thanks everyone, I'll say no more.
The fake green
Thank you, Bruce. Wow, you might have got more than you bargained for. This is quite gorgeous in case you haven't seen it up close, and I'm just going to,
Can I just say before I question? My son, young Bruce, is going head on with Andrew Bolt on Sky News.
I'd like to get Bruce's granddaughter, that young one there with the white face. I think it's better that Surrey read it.
This declaration formally establishes the lawful jurisdiction of the United Sovereign Nations of Terra Australis, with acknowledgement of the national sovereignty of each nation independently, autonomous with the right to self-determination.
Put your hands up if you've learned Aboriginal history and culture in school. Shame. It's a shame. Wait a minute. That's a shame. Because when I go to someone else's country, I've got to learn their language, I've got to eat their food, and I've got to abide by their rules. So when you come to my country, what do you need to do? So where's the problem here? It hasn't been put in your education system. That's from kindergarten or childcare right up to university. It's a failure of your government. And it's a failure of reconciliation. It's a failure of building relationship with the original people. Now, the answer to your question, the way we do it, is we take our kids out and sit them on country, Because the four walls is not going to teach our kids everything. The school's out there. Now, the other land we're talking about is the land that our Creator has placed us on. Our Creator also gave us our laws and how to live and how to survive on this land. Right? And we still practice that. In 1973, Eddie Mabo, you all know about Eddie Mabo, in the High Courts of Australia proved that this land was terra nullius. Captain Cook said that no one lived on this land. But he was proven wrong. And that's what everything in this country is built on. A lie. Don't walk away, sis. I'm talking to you, I'm answering your question.
Deanna, you listening?
You need to listen and ask the question.
I feel I'm shaking, that's why.
Don't shake. Not an earthquake. But the land is very important. The land of Russia is very important. The land of all the other continents are important. But let me tell you, Gough Whitlam in 1973 has signed the Unidroit Treaty. What's the Unidroit Treaty? He signed it over to the UN. Now, all the countries are going to come under UN.
Does anyone not understand that about the UN?
I don't know.
Hands up if you don't understand what Bruce is talking about, please, about the UN. Okay.
All right, now, if this voice goes through, that's a contract into the UN. They'll come in and take over everything, and then it's all over Red Rover. It's what they're doing in all the countries. They only need First Nations signature or contract. See, this voice referendum is not going to affect us, it's going to affect you guys big time.
Well, it's going to affect you too.
So you need to start to wake up. Also in 1973, they took out the Royal Seal. Every act, laws and legislation after 1973 is null and void. Am I right? Yes. There you go. Now, if they're selling off our public assets, public housing, public land, public transport, who own those things?
Public.
So who gives them the responsibility to sell it off?
Not us.
We own it. You just said we own it, so we've got to take it back.
Yes.
Just to add a little bit more on that, if you built your roads and hospitals and every building on our land, guess who owns it? No, you're absolutely right. That's why I don't pay tolls. Because it belongs to us. It belongs to the original people.
It's also a contract that anyone has to actually buy into.
Yeah. Now, if anyone got a license, can you pull your license out?
Yeah.
Who's got a license? Pull it out. Now, and if you've got a dollar note, pull it out too. Now, your dollar note has no dollar sign, so it's worth nothing. No, have a look at it. Ain't got a dollar sign. Now, you've got a driver's license. There's two pictures on your driver's license. Are you looking at it?
Yeah.
Right? Am I right? Now, look at your driver's license. There's a ghost. Look at the ghost. Is there a ghost on your driver's license?
Yeah.
You're just woken up. No, true. Because you're living in the world of the dead. Sister over here said that the living cannot contract with the dead. Corporations.
Yeah.
Why is there a ghost on your... Good. It's all in ICAPs. You are contracted into your birth certificate, which is your death certificate.
Yeah.
No, it is. It is. It's your death certificate. It's your straw man that they're using money on the stock exchange, making money from your birth certificate. They have created a false person. I'm not going to go anymore.
Excuse
You
me.